That's right, girl. I'll be your friend at the very end. That's right, girl. I'll be your friend at the very end.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here at the Thornton Township 2021 swearing in of the Frank Zuccarelli and his marvelous team, his trustees and his clerk, and this is one hell of a place to be in a time like this here. A few words from Mayor Tiffany here.
I want to say congratulations to Frank Zuccarelli. May you have a wonderful, successful 4 years, and congratulations to your entire team, your squad. I hope to be like you one day. You are my inspiration. You are my mentor. So thank you for all the support over in Dawson.
God bless you.
Thank you.
I know you're going to do a great job.
Yes, thank you. So look, can I get 2 trucks?
Nice to see you this evening. We're just so glad that everybody showed up to spend some time with us this evening. This was my 8th term, and the only one that's been with me as long as me is somebody that just started her 7th term. That's Trustee Joyce Washington. She's been with me since 1997. We've got a great group of people that are still interested in running with us and supporting us. We're very excited about how good everybody's been working together, how important that is. We all understand that when we work together, we can accomplish tremendous goals. So I'm very happy with all of the people that came from different communities throughout the township. We look forward to working very closely with all of you in the future. So God bless everybody that showed up. We want to thank you for coming. We want to thank all of those that are supporting us. And the reason that you support us is because we support our community. Thank you so much for joining up with us and supporting all the members of our community, all the municipalities in our township. God bless you, and thank you so much. Be safe out there, and we'll see you all around the corner.
On January 3 of 2022,
Right.
which is the day that then Supervisor Frank Zuccarelli passed away
Right.
unexpectedly.
Yes, we were notified of that on that day, and we were able to talk to folks in the know and publish a story about that on the same day. He had been truly a real figure in the South Suburbs for a very long time.
Right. And that is a significant part of the story because that set in motion everything that happened afterward.
Right.
Because the supervisor passed away, an appointment had to be made to fill his remaining term.
Right.
So it was up to the trustees at that time.
Zuccarelli replacement. This is a story that you wrote.
Yeah, I was at this meeting, and this was, I think, the 5th or 6th meeting that the trustees had gone through since Frank's passing, and they still had not managed to come up with a recommended replacement that they could all agree on.
Yeah.
And there is a deadline for this.
Yeah.
I think they had 60 days, and they were aware of this deadline, and still things went right up to the deadline.
That's right.
So on March 1, they tried again to put forth nominations and agree, and the whole meeting was very confusing, and nothing came out of it. The next meeting happened on March 3.
That's right.
48 hours notice is required whenever you have a public meeting, and so the meeting couldn't start until I think 10:30 or 10:55 in order to fulfill that 48-hour requirement and still accomplish the goal of appointing a supervisor before the midnight deadline.
On March 3. So yes, I started at 10:55. They had exactly an hour and 5 minutes to appoint a new supervisor, because if they didn't, it would go to the larger township public at large would vote for who they wanted to be the next supervisor.
And it was chaos.
Yeah.
And out of that, finally, the 9th person nominated was Tiffany Henyard.
11:48 p.m. Trustee Gonzalez nominated Tiffany Henyard, and we have that video. I believe we are the only video that's been published by the media of that moment, and we'll show it to you.
I nominate Tiffany Hayward for Township Supervisor.
You're making a mockery out of this for real. This is not a joke. Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Gray Everett? Yes.
Not know how that individual is going to get out the vehicle. With a weapon, without a weapon, being irate or being nice. All those things were going through my mind, and I wasn't trained on doing it. Maybe if I was trained, I could have handled a little bit better, and I think I must have pulled my weapon out, and I shot the tire, and I shot it. I was just in it, and that goes back to what we're trying to do and get this list together, so actually we can have trained officers out here. Because when you're not trained, you're going to make all types of mistakes. Trust me, you're going to make mistakes. And being trained, it keeps you calm and keep the situation calm, because you'll be able to calm the individual that you actually stop. Right. And that means so much. And like now, some people are getting more educated on. Chief Pete. Yes, let's go ahead.
I got a question. I think the last time we met, that we put an application date in, like from April the 1st to the 15th. Is that still in compliance? You know, we had discussed, what date is it? On the 10th, that we had.
Why? Chief, what we on that for?
That's just a matter of putting packets together. Okay. The blank application, the cover page would be a written out explanation of what should be included in an application, such as a copy of their diploma or GED, a copy of their driver's license, a social security card. There's some other documents that they would be required if they're veterans, or a copy of a DD 214, their discharge papers. So that's just a matter of just putting the package together and making them available. Okay. And usually the application is just available at the police department. I think we'll probably make some available at the
application. Right. They need to come to the station.
Right. We put that information out. Usually we put it on the Blue Line. Lately we've been in a Blue Line, for those that don't know, as far as the listening and watching audience, is a website where police departments or first responder agencies across the nation put these open positions or testing opportunities on this particular website. So someone can go on there and see what's available from Alaska all the way to California, all the way to Maine. Whatever's available, that's usually on that website. There's other areas that we've placed police stations.
Chief, I had noticed, I'm sorry, what are you doing? I had noticed something, and you know what, I just thought of it right now. I saw it maybe a few days ago. You may have seen it somewhere, because I'm sure you get information like that, but nowhere close, but one of the community colleges was having a first responder job fair. I want to say it was either maybe Morton or Triton, one of them. And I don't know if you've seen anything like that, but I know it's coming up. I could get the information.
Please do.
Just a point. I don't know if it would
that helps
fit in with anything we're doing, but if it does, obviously that's a good thing. Yes. So it'd be nice if something was closer, was going on like that, you know.
Right. Well,
Thornton Mayor Tiffany Hayward was sworn in today as supervisor of Thornton Township. She is the youngest person, first woman, and first African American to hold that office. She says she is truly honored and humbled.
I can't help but to pause and appreciate the historic significance of this appointment. I take great pride in being an African American woman leader.
But Hayward's first year as a Dalton mayor has been difficult. The village board is suing her, claiming, among other things, conflicts of interest.
Nominations are open.
All right, nominations are open. Nominations are open.
I nominate Cassandra Elston, Thornton Township Supervisor.
Have a second?
I second.
There's no second. Nominations are still open.
I nominate Jerry Jones.
No, not yet. We're waiting for a second.
That on the floor, you don't have a second.
Do we have a second for the nomination, our first nomination for Cassandra Elston? There is no second. Nomination fails. Nominations are open. Do we have another nomination?
I nominate Jerry Jones.
Do we have a second?
Y'all got to be kidding me.
I second that nomination.
We have a second. There will be a vote.
Yeah, there's a vote. Motion, second vote. Roll call. Or discussion.
Any discussion?
Call the roll.
Roll call. Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
No.
Trustee Gray Everett?
Abstain.
Deputy Supervisor Washington?
No.
No. You made the nomination.
Look, it's not cold, so I can change
I can rescind her vote.
Deputy Supervisor Washington?
Nominate Jerry Jones. Second.
Yes.
Just say yes. Just say yes.
Second.
Yes.
Just say yes.
Jerry. Yes. Yes.
The 2-1-1 vote.
No one is elected.
It fails. Nominations fail.
Y'all got to be kidding
We
me.
have to go back into closed session.
Oh my God. This is crazy. This is really. This is crazy. You might not like the person, but just come on, y'all. This is crazy.
Well, we were prepared to say something to the media.
Well, you certainly may.
Can we?
Yes.
Otherwise, so bring down. Yes, I'll put the ones I think is too loud. And that is why there's a little bit static. It isn't really static. It's
Is this like a public comment?
because it's coming out so loud. It's a comment.
You can say it is.
Okay.
You can say it is.
So you didn't get a chance to express
I don't know if you
yourself.
guys want to get in on this or not. I don't know. Shut up. All right.
It's the local people who need to hear this.
Can everybody see?
They're not even recording. They're about to miss it. All right. Well, Melanie, you got us. I'm Keisha Richardson, candidate for trustee for Thornton Township, and this is the People's Choice for Change. We just want to address something. There is a cancer within the body of Thornton Township, and some would ask, how did we get here? 2022, Christopher Gonzalez nominated Tiffany Henyard as supervisor of Thornton Township, and he nominated her 12 minutes before midnight. What's the significance of that? Chris Gonzalez made a unilateral decision to nominate Tiffany, and had he not nominated her,
it would have been left to the voters to decide on who the supervisor would be. Several names were put out there, but the voters didn't have the opportunity to be heard. Why did he nominate her? This is what's really significant. Was it because she was a young African-American woman who would take the seat and make history? Absolutely not. He had an agenda. Tiffany and Chris Gonzalez already had a working relationship prior to him nominating her for supervisor. She hired him to do construction work, this is Christopher, for the Village Hall in Dalton. And he saw it as an opportunity to use her influence and further expand his business to the 17 municipalities of Thornton Township. When she rejected that idea, and if things didn't go as planned, he got angry, disgruntled, and fought her tooth and nail. And then he jumped ship. Where did he go? Right into the arms of Napoleon and DOTS, the Democratic Organization for Thornton Township. He's going any which way the wind blows, which is an opportunist. He is a part of the cancer of Thornton Township. He's missed meetings. He just walked out of a meeting. Voter suppression. He's not trustworthy. He's not transparent, nor is he accountable. And they are all cut from the same cloth. All of them are cut from the same cloth. If the residents of Thornton Township want any kind of change, if they think that things are going to change by voting any of these people in, they're in for a rude awakening. It's not going to happen. If you vote for the same thing, you're going to get the same thing. You need to cut the cancer out. People's choice for change, we are not a part of the problem, we're a part of the solution. And on our 5-point platform, we laid out all the plans that we're going to do to restore the communities in Thornton Township. You have anything, Richard?
Tim, let me say this.
Real quick.
Real quick.
You're running for supervisor?
I'm running for supervisor for Thornton Township. The people's choice for change, we all have clean hands. What they're playing with the press is called three-card knowledge. There are no new candidates. It's just that these particular Democrats are interlopers.
We gotta go.
So they're going back and forth.
This is public comment.
We gotta go.
But we're gonna win. April 1st, 2025. We're gonna do the people's choice for change. Thanks a lot, my brother.
Yeah, thank you.
Peace.
Thank you, Melanie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Come on, folks. Let's go. Let's move.
Keep hope alive.
Put your hands together for your new Township supervisor, Tiffany Henry. Y'all can have them there, baby. Y'all can have that shit.
Wow. That's in the books. That's good.
All right, can I have your attention? Please raise your right hand. Say I and insert your name. I, Tiffany Henry, do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of office of Township Supervisor to the best of my ability.
That's sweet it is.
You may make a motion Can I have a motion?
Can I have a motion to close the meeting? Second.
We need a second to close the meeting. Second.
Bravo.
All in favor? All in favor?
I didn't see that coming.
Whatever happened, it happened.
But don't
Where I come from, right? I'm still sick. Yeah, I am. I was like, oh my God, Murphy's so bad. I'm not sweet. Yeah, I know, right?
hand. Say I and insert your name. I, Tiffany Hinyard, do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of office of Township Supervisor to the best of my ability.
Sweet it is.
You may make a motion as the president. Can I have a motion?
Can I have a motion to close the meeting? Second.
We need a second to close the meeting. Second.
Bravo.
All in favor?
I didn't see that coming.
Never happened to that. But don't
Where that come from? Right, I'm still shaking. Yeah, I am. But it's like, oh my God, hurt me so bad. I'm not sweet. Yeah, I know, right?
We are keeping you informed about an ongoing story that our newspaper has been covering and that larger media has been covering, and that is the story of Thornton Township. And we are here today with a man who knows more than the average person about Thornton Township, Thornton Township Trustee Chris Gonzalez. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
We're excited to talk to you, to learn about the township, but before we do that, can you just introduce yourself to us? Tell us about you.
Chris Gonzalez, I'm a Thornton Township trustee. Been a trustee since 21, if I remember correctly, just going by memory. So not super long. First term as a trustee.
Yeah.
I was the assessor previous to that for 2 terms, not right before. There was about maybe, 10-year gap or so when I wasn't on the board or anything. So
you have lots of experience in Thornton Township, and you've seen even from the assessor side, from the trustee side, from the resident side, of course.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Many different angles. So you are very familiar with
Oh,
Thornton
definitely.
Township.
Yeah. I actually started at Thornton Township back in 1990. I haven't worked there continuously, but I was a summer employee, and then just ended up staying for about an 9-year stretch, from that summer employee to a part-time employee to a full-time employee. Then I went to work somewhere else for a while, probably about maybe somewhere around 9 years also, and then actually was asked to come back onto the board. That's when I came back on as the assessor. And then, like I said, there was a little gap back now as a trustee, but even when I wasn't working there or anything, I mean, I always made sure I volunteered. I was always involved, so there was always, so needless to say, I mean, I grew up my adult life in Thornton Township, so it's something that's definitely near and dear to me.
So let's bring it back in time. We're talking about Tuesday's meeting. Let's bring it all the way back to the beginning of 2022. That is when former Supervisor Frank Zuccarelli passes away, and a void of power exists now at the top of Thornton Township. That results in a series of meetings among trustees, excuse me, where you are tasked with appointing a new supervisor, and if that doesn't happen by a certain time, that's going to go to a town hall where then the public is going to be appointing the new supervisor. So if I recall, some of those meetings were a little bit contentious among trustees as far as, I remember you suggesting a number of names that were not seconded or not voted through. Some other trustees were suggesting names that were not voted through. So it comes all the way down to 12 minutes before midnight on the legal deadline. This is in March of 2022 now. And it was you who 12 minutes before midnight said, I nominate Tiffany Henyard. And that was the first name that was actually voted for by the rest of the trustees. So then just a handful of minutes before midnight, Tiffany Henyard is sworn in as the supervisor of Thornton Township. Put us in Chris Gonzalez's mind, 12 minutes before midnight. What was your thinking in nominating her after this long process?
I mean, just as a whole, I just felt that I was hoping we could get somebody that was a little bit younger for the role. I felt it was time that we, possibly, and I mean, I wasn't like honed in on that, but that, a woman, I just thought that would be somebody, that was a little bit younger, a woman. So that's kind of where I was. I'll be honest, I really didn't know at that time a whole lot of the, that there was already some controversy and things like that, a little bit that was going on in Dalton, say. Sure. So I didn't really know about that. And that was also something that, obviously there, just on the surface, there was a little bit of experience there. She had been a trustee, just became mayor. Kind of a town that you might have had as a base as far as just like, once again, coming from that there might be some experience and things like that there. Yeah. She went straight to Frank's office and, sat in the chair and she just kept basically yelling, what are they going to think now? What are they going to say now? Speaking of the Dalton trustees, because I guess, like I said, there was already a rift and I didn't know that. So I'm thinking I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? And then so I went to Keith on the side and I said, what is she talking about? I said, is the board against her in Dalton? And he said, yeah. And I said, who? He's like, everybody. And he was like proud of it. And at that time, I already was like, what did I do? Like you said, the other part was going to a town hall meeting. And, people have asked, and it wasn't the case that I didn't want the people to, speak their voice. But a town hall meeting is very different than having, a regular election. I think that if it was something where we would have had a regular election, it would have been kind of a whole different mindset. For me, once again, I'm just, speaking for myself. I just saw that, the way a town hall meeting would be set up, that there would just be so much chaos. And I just, unfortunately, had kind of saw that there, it would just possibly be like something that was going to be stuck in the courts and things like that for some time, just because of the way the process goes. It's really kind of an older process. I see. But like I said, if it was kind of like a normal general election, that would have, I think that would have been, much smoother and much better, where you're having, outside, say like the county, as they do with other elections, running it and things like that.
Breaking news tonight at 10. One of Tiffany Henyard's jobs is at risk. The embattled Thornton Township supervisor wanted to run for re-election, but after this rowdy caucus tonight, her name will not be on the ballot.
Our Jermont Terry has been following the South suburban political drama for years now. He is live with what happened and Henyard's emotional reaction. Jermont.
Erica and Joe, Tiffany Henyard likes to tell people, quote, let me educate you on how this works. Well, tonight you can say she was schooled on how the Democratic caucus works right here in Thornton Township. You can also say that she flunked out because her name is not appearing on the ballot.
Folks lined up early and in the cold for the Thornton Township Democratic caucus. Everyone outside and those inside the auditorium were here to vote on who will be the Democratic nominees in the township, including the coveted supervisor position. And Tuesday night's caucus left the current supervisor, Tiffany Henyard, fuming.
You didn't run out of this the right way. Illegal. Napoleon.
That's Henyard pleading her case to committeeman State Senator Napoleon Harris. As a committeeman, Harris set the rules Tuesday night, the first caucus in Thornton Township in nearly 30 years.
The person who says this seems to be outdated, you say what to that?
People in Thornton Township may be new to caucuses because they haven't had them in a while, but this has been the tradition for many other townships around the state.
And those in this room came out to see if Henyard would get the nomination, an uphill battle for the controversy surrounding her administration. Henyard was not in favor of the caucus.
I will be suing everybody tomorrow. This is illegal.
This is illegal in your opinion?
Illegal.
Okay. So let's talk about it. I mean, your concern is you brought people in to pre-bus.
All the people outside. They let one person in.
Henyard used Thornton Township buses to transport supporters, mostly seniors. Yet many of the supporters did not get inside the packed auditorium of 600 people.
This is a process that's been going on way before me. And it's just, I'm exercising my rights as the committeeman to hold a caucus.
And it is legal. When it was all said and done, the caucus voted and Henyard did not get the nomination. Yet listen to who the caucus placed on the ballot.
The Democratic slate that would represent Thornton Township at the April 1st consolidated election reads as follows. For supervisor, Napoleon Harris.
Henyard left emotional and upset knowing her name will not appear on the April ballot, to the pleasure of many in the room.
I think it's very unfair that I don't get a chance to make the decision of who I want where.
And who did you want to vote for?
I wanted to vote for Tiffany.
She came late, and then she had an attitude because they couldn't get in.
Henyard can only become a write-in candidate, which her supporters say is not impossible.
I think enough people know her name to write her name in, and I believe we could still win it.
Now, to break it down, tonight's caucus was essentially the primary election, and other townships held their caucuses as well on this Tuesday. Now, since she did not win the nomination, Henyard cannot run as an independent, so her only option at this hour is a write-in candidate. Reporting live in Homewood tonight, I'm Jermont Terry, CBS News, Chicago. Joe and Erica.
A wild night.
It's basically an old-fashioned, everybody for this person, get on this side of the room, and everyone. So I've been into it, and then what if you had it?
Paul, do you have time for a quick comment? You want to tell us what happened in there today?
We couldn't hear a thing. There was absolutely no PA system, and we were sitting up in the bleachers. But obviously it was a voice vote.
Yeah.
But we thought that there would be a lengthy discussion as the rules. But there weren't.
Right, I just saw back up.
All right, something else that you're talking about voting on the referendum questions. The end of last year, the board also voted on a salary ordinance that has been a topic discussed in the news media, shall we say. Can you just explain your understanding of that ordinance and what you believe the intended effect of it is?
Mm-hmm. Okay, yep. Not a lawyer, but my understanding of it is you could only change. So say even today, if we were having a meeting, you could only change. You can't change salary, say today. It's got to be for the next administration. It's just so. It was put out that, and I don't have all the numbers, but anyways, so say, and so I'll just use examples. So a new trustee gets elected, that person will get paid from there forward $5,000 a year. The supervisor, I think, was like $25,000 a year, and different numbers like that. Once again, I guess the question is why? And for me, the obvious reason is you're just trying to deter people from running.
To be clear, the ordinance is something like $25,000 for a new supervisor. But if the incumbent maintains the position,
they get to keep
the current salary, which is north of
$200,000. Correct.
So that's the real questionable part of it, right?
Correct. Yes.
So it'd be one thing to say, period, $25,000 for anyone after the next election, but to say apart from the incumbent implies that there's maybe that discouraging people from running.
Correct.
Against.
Yeah. That one kind of hits on so many levels. It was either that meeting that was voted on, or it might have been the one before that was just kind of the supervisor who was, I guess, basically just trying to get some information about it, and she had complained about the high salary, and I said, but that's your salary. If you feel it's too much, then why are you accepting it? Sure. Or even if you accept it, give half of it, to charity or back. Because that's you're getting that money now. And once again, I'm not maybe necessarily complaining, but you are. So and then to pass that ordinance, and like you said, to exclude herself, and to still get that money, it makes no sense.
What was your reaction when you saw it?
Well, first of all, I didn't know anything about him. There's so many other ways we could have spent that money that would have, directly helped people.
What was your reaction when you saw it?
Well, first of all, I didn't know anything about him. There's so many other ways we could have spent that money that would have, directly helped people.
Thornton Township Trustee Christopher Gonzalez called the allegations serious.
It's just unacceptable. It's disgusting. If that's true, that there was an assault happened and then it was tried to whatever. I'm not exactly sure, but if there was attempt at a cover-up or something like that, then like I said, that's just unacceptable. I didn't receive any information, actually literally till I sat down for the meeting. No.
So you didn't know this was coming?
No.
And the credit card is one that passed, right?
No, that was tabled, if I remember correctly. That was the one that was tabled.
I thought the events one was tabled, but the credit card passed. I got to...
Well, yeah, I'll double check. There was some...
So one of our viewer questions right now, he says, Crook County is the name. I would like to hear more about Christopher Gonzalez being that they were cut short. Okay, I think that he means you guys were cut short. the other day, and ulterior motive to why he appointed her 12 minutes before that deadline. Tiffany and Gonzalez have always had a work relationship, which is facts. I see Christopher Gonzalez there after he appointed Tiffany. I would always see Christopher Gonzalez at Dalton after he appointed her supervisor. Yeah, and he clarified, he meant because you guys were cut short the other day.
Well, first of all, let me just say this, that it is very important that people get the facts, because a lot of people say things based on half-truths, innuendos, assumptions, and outright lies. Let's talk about the facts. He was appointed to the Fire Commission by Tiffany Henyard. That's a fact. He did work at the Dalton Village Hall. That's a fact. There was a prior working relationship prior to her being nominated as the Thornton Township supervisor. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I had not heard anyone bring that up. So, okay.
And that's why the People's Choice for Change is here, because we investigate, and if I can use Jedediah, we advocate. Now, so when he said he didn't know what was going on in the township, that he was blind, that's not true. She appointed him to the Fire Commission, and he knows this. And he did work, construction work on the Dalton Village Hall. What this individual wanted to do was to expand his business within the 17 municipalities. If I can do Dalton, I could do Burnham, I could do Markham, I could do Harvey, I can extend my business. So it wasn't about him choosing her as an African American. It was him to profit off her position to expand his construction business. And when he found out that that was not going to happen, he became disgruntled, he became angry, and then he went over to the DOTS organization.
But we over here having media coverage here, and we don't put out the good things that is happening. But you guys got to connect the dots, DOTTS, dots. All of this stuff is coming about because you got individuals fighting. You guys got to connect the dots, DOTTS, dots. All of this stuff is coming about.
Thornton Township Democrat organization. And then he became an active member in that arena. And let me just say this. That seemed to be a reject for all outcast people. These people do not have the best interests of the Thornton Township residents. If they did, yeah, you may have a problem with some of the antics. Nobody's saying that Tiffany Henyard is perfect. But just to stand in there and take the heat and just to say, okay, I'm going to stay in the meeting, I'm not going to walk out. Maybe we'll see how this goes. But to walk out, it just showed that, that they can't.
I didn't really know too much about the process, in all honesty. But yeah, it was chaotic, but that's kind of a caucus. I don't think there's really too many other ways to have a caucus. It's kind of the way it is.
A caucus includes the opportunity for other people to make nominations that really only were the Democratic slate. Is that because there weren't any others anticipated?
That part I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, like I said, this is kind of new, to myself. So I really don't know.
What's going to be your number one message to voters as you're looking for them to go in and vote for you?
Like I said, we need to get the township back on track on so many levels. There's just so much chaos going on, and just so many things that are ethically questionable. We just want to get things back on track, bring back some responsibility, and that's really the main stuff. Just kind of like get back to where we should be. This is a township that used to win awards all the time, many of them. And obviously a lot of that's just, gone by the wayside, unfortunately.
Okay, there were still about maybe 100 to 200 people outside when the vote was done and people were coming out. And some of those people had been shivering for a long time. So I was wondering, was the slate aware that there were still so many people waiting to get in?
I really wasn't sure. No, I didn't. I knew when I first came in, which was like an hour and a half before it started, I saw some people out there. But as far as like, you know, still being people out there, I really wasn't sure about that.
And so when are we going to be able to see you back at some Crook Township?
I mean, hopefully soon. I mean, it just depends on, you know, we've requested numerous times. Let's do the necessities, get that done, and, you know, just kind of move forward from there. This is ignored. You know, they talk about the insurance. It's a form that has to be signed off by the administration.
Yeah.
They refuse to do it just to make it an issue. That's the bottom line. You know, so a lot of this is just ploys to try to get us to a meeting so she can force through a vote, hoping to get her, you know, hand-selected person in as the trustee spot. And it's just so important that we let it go to the people for a variety of reasons. You know, I mean, just that's what the people want. I mean, even from the last time we went through this after the fact, so many people, that was just what they kept, speaking of. Because saying, you know, something like this happens again, we want to choose. And I want to give them that choice. We're trying to get a special meeting for this Thursday, my understanding, but I mean, it's the same thing. It's the same agenda from before. So, I mean, if we really wanted to take care of the business, pay the bills, get the insurance done for a special meeting, let's just have that on the agenda. We can get it done, and everybody, you know, we just move on. But like I said, it's just not what they're looking to do. They just want to try to force a vote through. You know, to, like I said, get somebody handpicked. And like I said, I don't want that to happen. I don't think